Samsung has announced that they're going to start charging for access to the API. You can see that in this article here. So basically what that means is if you are using an integration with Home Assistant to talk to your SmartThings appliances, you're going to need to pay at least $4.99 per month starting in October. So there is a way to do local control of your appliances in certain cases, and I'm going to talk about that right now. So let's get started. As I mentioned, SmartThings or Samsung is starting to charge, or will start to charge for that. And they talk about all the rationale and why they're doing it, et cetera, et cetera. The important part is here and introduced a dedicated paid commercial API tier as well as a $4.99 month plan for non-commercial individual developers. Home Assistant has confirmed that we would fall under this if we're using their integration, this $4.99 a month plan. So what that means is that for me, I have a single appliance, a refrigerator, and in order for me to talk to my refrigerator from Home Assistant, I would have to pay $4.99 a month. To me, it's not worth it. That is a convenience that I have to connect that to Home Assistant. It is not a necessity. So I have lights and things like that that are more important to be connected using Z-Wave Zigbee, but the refrigerator, not so much. So there is a thing called LocalThings, or an integration called LocalThings. You can see that here. And LocalThings is a native Home Assistant custom integration that allows you to control newer generation Samsung connected appliances. So no cloud, you add a device through normal setup processes in Home Assistant. It talks to your appliances with CoAP or CoAP over DTLS. So it goes straight over your network to your appliance. It does not use any kind of cloud. So it does a couple things. It gives you local control, which is the premise of Home Assistant and smart homes, to be able to control things locally without relying on a cloud. If your internet goes down, you don't want to have to worry about being able to turn a light on or anything like that. So local control is key. So that's what it does. So in order to use this, you needed an IP and CA credentials. So the CA credentials are a one-time setup. When you first add your new device, we'll talk about that in a minute, it asks you for the CA certificate and the key. Now there are three parts to doing all of this. We'll get right into it. First of all, you need to determine if your appliance is compatible. You need to do a one-time setup getting the AC14K_MCA credentials and the key. I guess that's credentials. And then add the integration in Home Assistant. So let's go through these step by step. The first thing we want to do is make sure that your appliance is compatible. And we can do that using this command right here. So we're going to run this nmap command, and I'll put the IP on the end of it. And it's going to check and see if it can talk to your appliance over the proper ports. And these ports are anywhere from 49152 to 49160. So let's go ahead. This is the thing about this. You can run nmap in PowerShell, but you've got to set it up and do a whole bunch of stuff, and I'm not a big PowerShell person. I have a number of Linux servers that have nmap in my network. You have to be on the same network as your appliance or it's not going to work. And so I'm just going to use one of those. So let's go back to the screen here. I'm going to put that command in here, and I'm going to put in the IP address of my refrigerator and let it run its thing. You'll see here it comes back with all these ports. 49153, 54, and 55 are all open. So that means that this device can potentially talk to the LocalThings integration once it gets installed in Home Assistant. So that is step one. We've now confirmed that our appliance is actually compatible. And part two, we want to get this AC14K_M credential. Now this is a part that might be a little bit more, it's not tricky at all. It's actually very easy to do, but you need a server to run Python on or some device to run Python on, because the script that I'm going to run that actually will go out there and get this particular certificate and stuff that we need. So they link it to it right here. So if I click this and open it, you'll see that this is actually a different author here, quite yellow, but this is the actual script, and it goes out and grabs the information. Now you can read through this if you don't trust it. There's two ways to get this. I'm going to go over here to the raw button, click on it. So I just get the raw code. And so here it is, the raw code. And up top in the browser, you can grab the URL, probably the easiest way to do this. And I'm going to go back over to my server, and I'm going to use wget to pull this information in. Let me actually get out of this directory. Can I go back any farther? So let's make a directory for testing. You don't have to do any of this. I'm just doing this so that it's new for this machine, since I've already run it a couple times. All right, so we're going to paste this, and we're going to add wget to the front of it. So now it's going to go out and grab this entire thing and create a file called setupcert.py. And if everything's successful, you'll see it's there, and then we can do an ls, and of course there's the setupcert.py. And I didn't actually put it in my testing directory. So let's just do that now. Again, these are extra steps you don't need to do. You can put it anywhere on your server you want to. All right, there's the setupcert.py file. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to run it. So I'm using Python here, and I'm going to run setupcert.py, and you'll see what happens here. So it goes out here and does a phase 1, signing materials. It fetches the bundle, does all these things. Phase 2 identifies the peer UUID. So it goes out here to the SamsungIoTCloud.com. Now, I don't know if that is the IoT or API link that's going to be under a paywall in the future or not. So if you're going to do this and you're watching my video now and you want to get this done, make sure you do it quickly before they turn on the paywall, because I don't know what happens when that comes on and whether or not this will still work to get that certificate from there. All right, so that's there, and it gets all this. Phase 3, it does a mint with the UID, grabs everything, and then creates it. Now, if you look in this directory, there should be a search directory. Let's clear this out. There is a search directory that you can see here, so we'll go into the search directory, and we'll do an ls, or let's do it this way. And what you're going to see now is this client full chain PEM file and this client key. These are the two items that you need in order to add your appliance. You only need to do this the first time when you add an appliance. It will use the cert and key in the integration for any subsequent Samsung or SmartThing appliances. So all you need there for that. So that is step 2 to grab that information. So we have now done part 2, or step 2. And then part 3 is adding the integration into Home Assistant. Now this one here is a HACS integration, and you can do this anyway, in the normal way you do hack stuff. So I'm going to grab the URL, which you can't see above here, but I copied the URL on this repo, and we're going to go into hacks and ignore the fact it's already done because I already did it. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to click these 3 dots. I'm going to click on custom repository, and then I'm going to paste this information in here, and then it's going to be an integration type. And I'll click on add. It'll tell me it's already here because I already did it. So it's already in here. So once you have it in here, you may or may not need to restart Home Assistant. Maybe for good measure, do that. Otherwise, do a hard refresh on your screen here. And when you search for LocalThings, you will see that it shows up if I type it correctly. Now, because I've already downloaded it, it actually has an update that's pending, but it would be in the downloaded section. Otherwise, it's going to be in the new section for you here. Once you click on it, I'll just grab this example. You'll see at the bottom right of the screen, there's a download button here for whatever. This is an example. I can't show you the LocalThings one because I already did it. But you can do that. I wonder if there's an update button on here. No. Download it. And then the next step you're going to do is, again, you may or may not need to restart Home Assistant, but you're going to go into settings. You're going to go into integrations. You're going to add integration over here on the bottom right and search for LocalThings. Once again, I've already added it. And here's an important point. I've already added the appliance here, so it is not asking me for the CA certificate or the key. What I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the appliance I already have, and that will show you exactly what you need to do. So I have one device here, and you can see it's already running. That's my fridge. So, oops, wrong one. Let's go in here and let's remove this device. And once you delete it, it also deletes the CA cert and the key. So if you delete all of your appliances out of here and start over, you're going to have to re-add the key. Just keep that in mind. So there is an add entry button right here, but you can also do it from the integrations page. Once you add the integration over here, once you click on the integration, it will, or during the integration process, it will actually ask you to do it. And since I removed the appliance, it actually deleted the integration. So we'll do the whole thing. LocalThings. Click on it. Now see the difference? It asked me for the IP address of my appliance. In this case, 172.160, and then the CA certificate and the PEM. Now here's the thing about the CA certificate and the PEM. You need to go over here and you need to grab this. How you do that is totally up to you. So if I do a cat to file, and I look for the full chain file, and I click enter, I'm going to get all this stuff. Now this is not private. This is a key, or the certificate, right? So I'm going to grab from here. I'm going to go all the way to the bottom of what I just pulled out, is from begin certificate to end certificate, and I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to go back over here, and I'm going to paste it in the certificate PEM section, and then I'm going to grab the private key. So let me just do that real quick so that you're not watching my key. All right, I've pasted the key in here, so you want to go from beginning to end on that as well. And once you have the IP, the CA certificate, and the private key, just click on submit. It may take a minute or two for this to bring up the actual appliance that you put in there for the IP with the IP address. I would say anywhere from 30 seconds to 2 minutes. You just have to wait. One thing that this site talks about here down in the, I don't know, let's check it out. Known device behavior. Samsung's firmware occasionally drops the DTLS briefly. Whoops. This is normal appliance side behavior, not a bug. The integration will reconnect automatically, and from HA's perspective, it's a brief reconnect. Looks like when an entity is just holding a less value. So when an appliance supports it, the integration prefers push-pull. Only bring that up because when I did this on one of my tests, it actually did not bring any information up. Now this is the same case that I had before. So it says Samsung appliance, but it should have identified my refrigerator. Let's see if it actually shows me anything. And it does not. So I'm going to go through this whole process one more time, and I'm going to spare you the agony of me doing that, and we'll just jump to when it actually works. If you do end up with nothing here, either you've got the wrong IP or something else has happened and you need to just do it again, or it may have dropped that DTLS packet and initially it won't actually show anything. And I waited probably 30 minutes before to show this, to have this show up, and it never worked. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to redo that process I just showed you and see if it picks it up again. All right, that was try 2 and that didn't work. So we're going to try it one more time. Now, one other thing to note is if you're trying this, and I'm using this on my Home Assistant Yellow, which is my development platform or my testing instance, you cannot talk to an appliance on more than one platform at a time. It only will talk to one device one platform, whatever, at a time over DTLS. So it could be that my phone is trying to talk to it or something else while I'm trying to do this process, and I need to make sure that it's not doing that or nothing else is talking to it. I don't know if that's the cause of what's happening, but I'm going to go for try number 3. Earlier, I did this same process. It showed you it did what I showed you a minute ago with no entries, and then I did it again later and it worked. So I think it may be hit or miss, and it may be in contingent with the app if you've got the app running or you have the app checking in the background or whatever. So I'm going to once again try it for a third time and see if this works. It will work. It does work. You just have to be patient with this process. Okay, so we have success now. We have it identifying the Samsung refrigerator. Before I go any farther, let me tell you, there was an update. You saw that when I mentioned it earlier. I went ahead and did the update. It required me to restart Home Assistant. Then I added the integration. It went through and started up the configuration wizard, which was the boxes I showed you to put in the certificate key and the IP address. And then we ended up with this here. You should have, hopefully, and I don't know if this is the case for every appliance, but at least for this fridge, the identifier for the refrigerator. So now I know it has actually found the refrigerator, and it should show you all of the stuff here, and it does. So now we have a TP2X Ref 20K refrigerator by Samsung, and it is allowing me to control the ice makers. This thing has two different types of ice makers in it. So I can turn these on and off. All these are the sensors, the door sensors, energy used, all of this stuff is in here. And then there's some configuration to fill the water pitcher automatically, set the cool and freezer temperature set points, and what this pantry zone is. Now, one thing I'm curious about, when I initially did this, there was a Home Assistant repair pop-up saying that it wasn't able to fully use all of the information from this refrigerator because it didn't have it configured or something. And let me tell you what I'm talking about here. There is the ability to report a capability gap. So if your appliance's type isn't recognized or exposes resources that this integration doesn't model yet. So in other words, it will tell you that well, let me show you because I can't speak apparently. This pantry zone mode wasn't here before. This happened after I did the update today. So it says here a repair issue appears, and there's a download diagnostics button. It's already redacted all the account information, all of that stuff. So you can attach it and send it over for them to add this capability gap or fill the capability gap. So I think they've done that maybe because this pantry zone mode thing showed up. And I think that's pretty much the only change I've seen. But here's all the information. And then you have this information over here with the calendar telling you, or activity telling you what's happened. And all this says unavailable. I'm not sure, maybe because it wasn't running at the time, but it sees event. I don't know. But the activity's pretty nice, right? You can see when the doors are open and closed. You can see when certain things are changed, etc. for this. This might be more important for something like a dishwasher or something that you want to know when it's finished running, or a washing machine, something like that. It's just more informational for me here. All right, so let me go over to the repair section and see if it does say anything. And now it does not. And I can't show you that, unfortunately, because I updated, but it did give this little repair thing saying that there was some stuff that it wasn't fully recognized or something, and now it does not. So I'm assuming the update fixed it and gave us the other information. So now what you have is you have a device here that is in Home Assistant. This device is talking directly to, or the Home Assistant's talking directly to this device over your local network, giving you the option to control things. And actually there's more exposed here than what I saw in the Samsung app. Like I don't think I got some of this power consumption mapping or anything like that, which is kind of neat if you're tracking energy. Filter usage, I don't think was in the app. This tells me how much of my water filter has been used, which is nice. This is when it's time to change it, it'll tell me. Stuff like that. One other thing, let me see if this has changed, but on my regular dashboard, and let me just pull it up for you real quick. This is my Home Assistant main dashboard, and here is the original integration that's running right now, and it shows the bytes and the cubes. Those are the two ice makers. And when I click on devices over here and I disable ice maker 2, and I come over here, it should show that was disabled. Let's hope it's working. That did work yesterday, and it was quick to respond. Right now, it doesn't seem like it's doing it, which is great for a video, of course. This thing pops back up. Now, this is what happened yesterday before the update. I would click on this. It would pop, turn off, and it would show turned off on the main Samsung setup. But then it would also come back on, and if I waited a minute or two, it would show that it was turned off, like that. You just saw that happen. So now it shows Ice Maker 2 is disabled. So when you click on it, it will sit here and it'll tell you it did something. And then it will go back to its previous state you saw there. And if you wait long enough, it will actually show you the state it's in. I'm willing to deal with that as long as I know that if I wait, 30 seconds or so, that I get the actual status. I don't know what causes that. I don't know if that's because of the communication protocol and the way it works. I know nothing about the communication protocol being used here. That may be some research I need to do. So anyway, eventually this should show. Now what it's not happening is it's not showing anything else here. So if I click on mobile here, this is still not showing that it has anything in it. So, or it hasn't done anything. And my guess here is probably because maybe it can't talk to the cloud while I have the integration running. Although yesterday it did that just fine. So I don't know. Anyway, there it is. There is the ability for you to control a SmartThings device from Home Assistant without going through their cloud and without paying the $4.99. I should point out that I am not against somebody making money with their products. What bothers me is getting this all set up. We all get used to using it and then they pull the rug out from underneath you. Now the good thing here is there's a lot of advanced notice from Samsung or SmartThings, or they're the same, I guess. And they're not bricking your devices, so they will still function if you feel like you want to pay for them. Now this is only to use the API. Their app and stuff probably is not affected by this. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. I hope that was useful and helps you get over that little hiccup there with SmartThings and continue to use your devices within Home Assistant. If I haven't already said it, thanks for watching and we will see you on the next video.